Today we are going to continue talking about interpersonal effectiveness. This is a DBT skill or a group of skills around how do we ask people for what we need while also keeping the relationship strong. Today's skill is another acronym and it's FAST. F stands for being fair to yourself and others. A stands for no apologies. S stands for stick to your values. And T stands for be truthful. I think a common area where we need to ask for what we need in recovery for both parents and people in recovery, working on recovery, is what we need from our family and friends. Might be asking a friend to stop doing something that's triggering, or as a parent, it might be saying no to a volunteer activity you used to do, or asking a family member to help out with meals. So I'd love to hear, Maris, about how you used some of these FAST skills in order to ask for what you need from your friends during recovery.
Yeah, what actually comes to mind is a situation that I supported a patient with where, dad was trying his very best to bring levity to the dinner table and was making a lot of jokes. And the patient experienced that as pretty invalidating and actually unhelpful or triggering in some ways based on what the jokes were. And so the patient had to find a way to thread that needle of not shooting down dad trying his best, but also effectively sharing what would feel more supportive or what would feel more helpful during a hard meal.
I love that example because I feel like it must have been so tempting for the teenager to be like, shut up, dad, knock it off. Right. But what they didn't want to do is push dad away so dad never tried again, right? And so this is truly the meat of interpersonal effectiveness, is like, how can they get their needs met but not hurt the relationship such that the person retreats? What happened next?
We spent a lot of time preparing and thinking about ways to deliver that message. And I think some of these skills from FAST were actually really helpful in not apologizing, right? So owning, this is really important to me and I want to have this relationship of trust with you where I can share when something's hurtful for me. And then also being really truthful. It might have been easier to kind of laugh along with it or ignore that it felt hurtful in some ways, but being open and honest about that helped dad learn a different way to show up and learn a different way to be supportive during meals.
I love that. I kind of want to close with how I think parents might be using FAST and some things I've heard from some parents, that maybe they're going to go see their extended family and maybe their parents who grew up around lots of, fat phobia culture are used to every time they see the kids saying, oh my gosh, you've gotten so big, you look different. What's helpful is being truthful, is this is what I need right now, and I understand you don't mean anything bad when you say it, but it's not going to be well received, and we don't want to reinforce thinking about weight.
I love that you've touched on just the different ways that everyone can practice this. It's not just for patients asking for more freedom or for a preference to be recognized in a meal, but also parents are going to be using this not just with their own kid, but with many other people that are surrounding recovery. And this is something that can be practiced time and time again, so that even if it doesn't happen perfectly every single time, the bulk of the time you're trying your best, and that's going to make a difference.